¿Qué onda, homeboy? It's your brother Jaime G. Touchdown with y'all today to show y'all where I landed out here in the field. So right here in front of us, we got the Missouri Hotel. When I first moved out here and I landed at the halfway house, when I got released from federal prison, this place was open and was taking homeless people. You know, and they would take homeless people off the muscle, bro. Like, let people come over here and get one of these rooms. They got like about a good 50, 60 rooms here throughout this whole building. And it would house none but homeless families, you know what I mean? And I did 6 months at the halfway house. I got out on the 6th month, you know, and my family was staying at one of my relatives, and they basically didn't want my family there no more. They didn't want me there no more. So we had nowhere to go, and she was gonna go back to Texas with my daughters. But I found this spot. You know, thankfully it was open back in those days. It's closed now. They actually closed it down and ran off all the families that used to stay here. But back in those days, you'd see a lot of people around here just hanging out, walking around, and you know what I mean, mingling and living here basically. You know, so I stayed here a good solid week. I was able to find an apartment. I had money saved up from working at that the halfway house, those 2 jobs I had. So I had money saved up, stacked up. I just didn't have a place really on site just yet. I needed like another month, I would have been straight. But yeah, this place right here, man, they used to have chow right here. And you used to have to like volunteer. So the way you would volunteer is you'd go down there and help serve like all the families that lived here, all the homeless people that would come eat. That was basically your payment for staying here. They had some kind of program set up where they get you on your feet. We didn't stick around long enough to go through all that, you know, because it was basically just a spurt of a moment. I just needed like a week here, and we were out. They had a library right here. Well, actually, that was the front desk. The library was right over here. And they had a lot of books where families could come in and, you know, with their kids and whatnot, come read books. But yeah, this was basically the home to a lot of struggling families here in Springfield. And I actually met one of the Sureños from Cali when I was here. He had moved out here from Cali. I guess he was trying to get rid of that 3-strike law. So he had fled Cali to avoid that and landed here, and we met here. He was able to get his wife and his kids out of this place at the same time I did. So came a long way. Still out here in the struggle, still out here in the streets, you know, linking up with the real homies, all the young G's and the OGs nationally. You know, want to send a shout out to the Manitos, you know, all my King brothers, you know what I'm saying, all over the US, in every state, every city, amor. You know, we're promoting prosperity, unity, freedom, you know, justice, that righteousness. The prison talk, street talk, the dope thing, it's all part of a former convict's past, you know, on this road to redemption, trying to find a different way to make a living and thrive out here and stay out here in the free world. You know, can be a challenge, homito. But where there's a will, there's a way. Anything's possible if you apply yourself, homie. So a lot of times you hear me jump out here and talk some real gangster shit, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the lifestyle that I had, you know. But it sure as heck ain't, you know what I'm saying, where I'm headed. We're all about establishing ourselves out here in the community as business owners, you know, as hardworking individuals that out here on some legitimate righteousness. You can do anything you put your mind to if you apply yourself. Business and money all over the place. it's bullshit and nonsense for you boys to continue down this criminal lifestyle, risking your freedom, you know, jeopardizing your life. The gangster era is dead, homie. You know, the dope dealing days of coming up with the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, and even some of the 90s, those days is over with, homie. It's time to think outside of that box and really come out here and get this real money, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just gotta find ways, man. Focusing on the nation, on the manitos, you know, one organization at a time. Trying to clean up our rap sheet, and transform that into something legitimate, you know what I'm saying, something positive. But that's what it is, homie. We out here, you know, promoting prosperity, bro. If we not out here for that, then what the hell we out here for? Oh yeah, ink, here we go. Y'all might know that from, I think they got a TV show out there for this. Might get a tattoo from that one of these days. I want to let everybody know in the hometown that the world is an oyster, bro. You ain't got to stay in the same location you grew up in, that you were raised in. It's okay if you want to venture off. I did it. And it's been amazing. It's been a blessing, a fresh start, if you would. You know, sometimes relocating and starting over is the best thing that ever happened to you, bro. Especially if you find yourself, you know, getting in trouble with the law, catching cases, getting into trouble, getting into fights, you know, just taking losses, man. Starting over might be the only way that you're gonna be able to bounce back from that. I'm not the only one. There's been plenty of people out here in this town that I've met that came out here from other states, other cities, and they've been, you know, doing fantastic, thriving and prospering, establishing themselves out here, you know, accumulating their wealth and climbing up out of that poverty bracket. So really consider that if you find yourself in some kind of bad predicament, you know, maybe relocation is exactly what you need. And I love to travel. I love to go to different states, different cities. You know, I've been to about a good 12, 13 states throughout the U.S. that I've traveled and visited different cities. You know, and it's a beautiful thing, man. You know, I was talking to somebody out there in the hometown the other day, and they said they had never even left. I was like, man, that's bananas. The hell you mean you never traveled outside the hometown? You know, you got to get out, venture out, and enjoy life, man. Mingle with different people, experience different cultures, you know, try different foods, all that. It's a beautiful thing, bro. You know, coming from from Laredo, Texas, to Springfield, Missouri, it's a culture shock. You see, down there in Laredo, the number raza be running the city. It's a gangster criminal lifestyle that I was brought up in, you know, with that Hispanic culture dominant. Moving out here to Springfield, it's a predominantly white Midwestern culture. It's the Bible Belt too, so there's a church on every corner, you know. You know, the culture out here definitely is totally different than my city, my state. And, you know, I travel around, I experience different cultures, different cities. And, you know what I'm saying, a lot of them ain't nothing like my hometown. It's fun, bro. Some I very much enjoy so. And, you know, it's allowed me to venture out into different realms because I was always a hustler by nature, bro. I was always willing and dealing, you know, selling anything I can grab my hands on. I was always about the business, man, just trying to make this money, but I always did it the wrong way. I was always chasing that money, the illegal fashion, selling cocaine, selling weed, you know. That was the business, bro. You know, I was brought up in those days where it was like cocaine is America's cup of coffee. You know, and everybody I knew always wanted some Yola, so I was always serving the soft, always had clients buying quantities of it. Buying weed, everybody loves smoking grass, you know, so I always had that weed on deck, that coke on deck, and just selling all that. So I was like, I hung the gloves up on that lifestyle. It really, like, it sat me the fuck down, you know. I had to sit it down and be like, damn, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? You know what I'm saying? Where am I headed? What's next? So it was a good little time out, and then I was able to come back and be like, well, I don't have to stop being a businessman. You know, I just have to invest in different industries. So buying properties, buying cars, you know, investing in other side hustles is something that I do on, you know what I mean? That's how I live my life now. That's how I'm able to stay afloat and thrive and prosper out here. But I'm always looking for different opportunities to make legitimate money, you know, as a self-made boss, you know, entrepreneur. I've never been that kind of guy that loved working at a 9 to 5, because I'm always staring at the clocks, just waiting for the time to leave, you know, hating the job, you know, making tiny little paychecks, bro, staying there 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, and then retiring. That, you know what I mean, that ain't the kind of guy I am. So I learned that there's plenty of guys like me, you know, people that ain't with all that 9 to 5 lifestyle, you know. But you know what I'm saying, even guys like me, if we don't put ourselves in position to have a lifestyle outside of that rat race, that hamster wheel, then you'll find yourself in that same predicament, you know, and trapped there, stuck there, until you start thinking outside of the box and trying to figure out how to get out of that hamster wheel, you know. So that's all I'm trying to tell y'all out here, man, is focus on this money, focus on this freedom, focus on Yahweh up above. In the almighty name of Jesus Christ, y'all be blessed, homie. I'm Mo.